Frank Warren, who is Derek Chisora's manager, and Robert Smith is from the British Boxing Board of Control. They've never debated each other before, but they join us this evening. Thanks, gentlemen, for coming in. And Frank Warren, you heard it there. It's just a business model, isn't it? It's a way of making cash. Morality's out the window on this one.
Well, you know, let's talk about, first of all, they're professional boxers, so they box for money. As regarding morality, you know, I can think of lots of sportsmen in over the years who've had problems. Eric Cantona assaulted a fan, yet BBC and other TV companies showed his the matches that he played in. You can look at it only recently. You talk about morality of things. Formula One in Bahrain, BBC covered it. After all the terrible problems, 50 people died there in Bahrain.
So your point is that these guys are completely wrong to try and stop it?
When you say try to stop it, they had a hearing, which they were the prosecutor, judge and jury at the British Boxing Board of Control, and they took away Derek Chisora's licence. And it was said at the Boxing Board of Control at the time, because the question was asked, if he goes to another jurisdiction, that's what he can do and he's allowed to do, and that's what he's done. This is not about Derek Chisora and David Haye, contrary to what the Boxing Board say. It's about another governing body coming into this country to sanction fights. And everybody should remember that the British Boxing Board of Control, in fact, is a limited company. It's not a government department, it's a limited company.
For a boxing organisation, Robert Smith, you haven't got much punch.
Well, no, I mean, it's a shame you haven't shown the whole events leading up to Mr. Chisora having his licence withdrawn. I mean, it was a weekend disastrous for the sport. He slapped a man, his opponent, at the weigh-in. He spat a stream of water at his opponent's brother in the ring prior to a fight, and then he ended his weekend having a brawl at a press conference. And these sort of events don't do the sport any good whatsoever, not just in Great Britain, but in the world. And this was taking place in another country, where we are proud to send our licence holders over to these countries to represent the British Boxing Board of Control.
But it doesn't work, does it? So you take away their licences and then Luxembourg steps in and says,
I think the majority of the time it does work, because most of the people we deal with are good, upstanding citizens. And I think Frank could not disagree with that. Those events, Frank actually was quoted saying they was barbaric. The sports minister said that the events that took place were disgusting. We have to deal with that. We have a system where the hearing took place. He had his licence withdrawn. That means he was ultimately banned from boxing until he reapplied again in our jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And he had an opportunity to appeal that decision, and he withdrew.
Do you admit there'd be much less interest in this if there wasn't the animosity, the kind of loathing?
There was talk of the fight being arranged prior to what happened in Germany, but the facts are it got out of control. Of course it gave it some publicity, and that's a fact.
Which you welcome?
No, I don't welcome what happened in Germany. I don't welcome that at all. But the fact of the matter is it did happen. You're not going to change history. That's what occurred. But you know, how long is Derek Chisora not allowed to box? He's not banned from boxing. You're wrong what you said, Robert. He was not banned from boxing. You withdrew his licence. He is allowed to box in this country. It's legal. The sports minister, you're misleading what you say there. The sports minister actually said he doesn't want to get involved in this situation, and that you wrote to the sports minister, and he made it very clear publicly he doesn't want to get involved in the situation.
No, I'm sorry, I disagree. The sports minister at the time said the actions of what happened at the weekend was wrong.
And since said he doesn't want to be involved in it. He's gone on record as saying
as simple as that. I mean, when we talk about licensing people, it's within our jurisdiction. When a boxer has his licence withdrawn, which is the ultimate sanction for anybody in Great Britain to have a licence holder to have his licence withdrawn, ultimately it's a ban until he reapplies for his licence. Derek Chisora, as you asked the question at the hearing, could he reapply for his licence? The answer was yes.
A ban.
He was also.
A ban is very simple.
We deal with Great Britain.
Doesn't it make you think when you're 2 miles from the Olympic Stadium, you're a month before the Olympics, and you've got this on your plate to have to say this is what boxing is about, this is what our sport's about.
These are professional boxers. It's misleading to say he was banned. If you ban someone, you say you're banned for 12 months, you're banned for 2 years. That did not happen. He's not banned from boxing. He is free to box. He's licensed to box, and the fight is being sanctioned by 3 associations that the British Boxing Board of Control.
You've got no power in this one at all, have you?
Unfortunately...
Of course, what's happened is the Boxing Board of Control have totally mishandled.
We listen to that. We talked about this many times. The British Boxing Board have made their decision. What has happened there is people have made a decision to circumvent the board's decision with regard to withdrawing his licence. That, we feel, is wrong. Don't forget, we govern the sport in this country. We have to look after the reputation of boxing in Great Britain. We do not feel what has happened is the right thing to happen.
Thank you both very much indeed. Thank you.